Hi guys, Alex here again, and today we're going to go through a trade that was a news-based trade, but if you added like the technicals on top, it gave you a much bigger play. So, it was an oil comment on the 28th of the 4th. We're going to look at the order flow and a bit of the footprint like usual, but a key on this one is, hang on, let me move my camera as well. A key on this one was how we had the comment that like initiated the move, and then once that got going, there was like a big technical break area, and it kind of accelerated the move like further on past where you might originally expect. So yes, we'll go through that, and then just some key takeaways, because there's been a lot of these oil comments recently. Some have worked, some haven't, but for me, I know some of the traders didn't take this one because we had heard it a few times. With how oil's moving, if you get willing to give it a little bit of room and see if you go straight on side, I think they're worth taking, because if it does get a bit of traction and legs, you can easily get a point out of it at the minute, 2 points on some of these moves. So this was the comment, and this is all to do with the Ukraine-Russia sanctions again on Russia. And basically it came out in the Wall Street Journal that Germany drops opposition to embargo on Russian oil. You can see on these, I've just dropped these on, we've had loads of these for the last few days, and some have gone the wrong way, some have moved, they're going to do it, they're pulling back on it a little bit. So it was one of them where you had to be a bit hesitant to really buy it. But if you did, you take a few losses on a couple where you keep your risk tight. When it does go, it pays you back, and that's one of the keys here, is like making sure you get paid for when it works on the comments. So you can see we're trading at these 106s down here. And what you'll see pretty quick is, as the comment comes out, I start to hover, and I'm kind of waiting just to see if we get some sort of reaction. And as we start to get lifted, I buy it, and luckily I kind of get in that first imbalance. And for this is on 2 ticks as well. And you can see straight away, like, it never came back. It stalled for a second and then keeps going and pushing higher. So then once you're on side now, for me, it's kind of, you're hovering here, because there's been a lot of these that flick back, and then once you start to get up, straight away up into like 30 ticks, I'm then going to put a stop in, because I've seen some of these recently and wash back down, you can't really get out, and you're all chasing each other out. So for me, if I can hit them and I get pushed on side at the minute, my kind of technique is hit it, pushed on side, get a stop in, because you don't want to have it wash 50 ticks back against you, especially now because I'm trying to up my size on these comments. Granted, you don't want to see it really back below maybe the 60s where it came out, but I can always try and get back in, but I just don't want to be blipped offside when it's thin and volatile like it has been. So you can see it does come back down to these 76s. Again, it's a comment we have heard a few times, and suddenly it's getting some traction this time. But as long as I don't go back offside, I'm willing to hold this and then see how far it can push, because once it does get going, these oil moves, they really can give you the 1, 2, 3 points. I think it was 2 points in this one, maybe 3. So you can see it kind of stalls here, but it's never really put you back offside, and we left that imbalance down there. And as long as it doesn't come back, I am going to hold it. You can also see, watching the replay black, is the other one to look at is the Euro stocks, because obviously banning oil is bad for them as this oil goes off the page. This kind of, I started looking at that, it was at these 86 area over here. So it's worth just keeping an eye on these 86s and see how that trades, looking back as a correlation for next time. But as you can see, so the oil kind of stalled. It came all the way back to 76s on you, but then started pushing back up. You see now, this is where you get into now nearly 2 points on side on a comment that has come out before. So you've got to start questioning how far this could go. As long as the technical level holds, you've basically got 40 ticks, maybe 50 ticks on side on your buy stop through the high. It's not really put you under too much pressure. It had a little stall where you'd question it, but there's no real pressure. This is the first time we're kind of coming off the high, and it gets straight out of that. It's a separate trade. I don't want to see it wash back. Go and find where this stop is to pull back. So I'm a nightmare for leaving them in if I forget about them for a while and realise nearly at the last minute. But now you've took an extra, 30 ticks, 40 ticks, and now you're playing for that bigger move. And what you're going to find is it's going to sit now in this area. Get it right? This area for a while, aren't you? So what I'm going to do is just speed it up so we have it on a bit quicker. You can see the Euro stocks as well was 86s down to 70s, so you could passively sell that on this comment as well. Probably not now because it doesn't move as much. They're all a little bit less sensitive, but it still gave you the chance. And there you saw again, you know, you probably got out. I was actually a bit disappointed I got out in these 30s, 40s area of something, because really, you know, with, as I've been saying, the scope on these oil moves means you can try and hold these for a lot longer. And then you see you've missed out on 40 ticks straight away, and it didn't really put you under any pressure. So you can see the Euro stocks coming down now, down about 20 ticks on this move as the S&P is getting sold as well. So it's probably got a double whammy of the banning of oil and the S&P dragging it down. This is the first time now we start to pull back from these 90s into these 40s, 50s. So this is it's gonna be hard to see the ladder now, but this is this area now. Double check. Where we get. So this is now where we get this first bit of two-way. It's hard to see on here, but you can see down into these 48s, it's down here somewhere. These were the 90s. And it just starts to build this volume block that we'll see. And for me, that was a chance then to, as long as we see this again, down here, there's a chance to try and hold it for this second leg, and it whips back, it comes back again, but you're wrong below here. As long as you hold this, you're miles on side, it gives you the chance to play for that extra 100 ticks. So yeah, this is what that bit I was on about, where we then store, you can see it just in the background here, start to build this volume out, or it'll end up coming all the way down into here, building volume and a bit of two-way. But it's the first bit of two-way we've seen, so when you get this two-way, I feel like you should expect at least a second flush up and leg. You know, that shows buyers are still buying higher, sellers are now a bit more active, and you really play it looking for the break of this either way. So I just thought I'd bring that up just to show you this is now where we are. But yes, this is going to go on for quite a while. So you see if I skip it forward, I'm still stuck in this. Again, Eurostoxx has now bounced quite a lot, so you are going to keep it tighter now. What I kind of did as well is, as we started moving up, I started leaning on these, you know, just one time framing slightly. So from here, once we come down, made this low, then we started to bounce into here. Then I was looking here, you know, keeping it really tight. I know that it's still absorption, but I'm seeing like the correlated markets now push back on me a bit. And then obviously once we got the final flush, you've hit your target. But yeah, I mean, really, you could have stayed until here, I guess. You'd let a bit come back. But yeah, just trying to lean now on anything I can to keep me in the trade since you've held it for that long. And here. So for me, it's okay for a comment to go wrong and take a loss as long as it's managed. But when the comment goes your way, you need to make sure you get paid for it. And it's something I'm still trying to learn and work on. It's fine, especially at the minute, taking a 20 tick, 30 tick loser in oil really quickly on a comment. But that one that goes, you can't then be, you know, if you took 2 20, 30 tick losers, when it goes, you can't be taking 20, 30 ticks. You've got to try and hold out for that bigger move in this case, because it pays you back for the small losers you've took. And, you know, you should really be trying to get paid on these ones. And we know how oil can, once it gets going, really start pushing and just not really look back. And I know this is a weird one for some people maybe, but sometimes it's hard to pick and choose if you should hit comments. You know, you've got a few seconds to make the decision. And especially based off past results, because you could have took the losers for 3 or 4 of these trades and then missed the one that paid you back. So as silly as it sounds, sometimes being consistent, knowing if you hear a comment that you think is big and you see the flow, if you hit it, even if we've maybe heard it once, if we hit it and you go straight on the side and see the reaction, this time you get paid. Whereas if you've gone, you know what, I've already took a few losers on oil comments, I'm not going to hit it, you miss the one that then pays you and makes it back. At least you're being consistent in something in your approach. If you're random with your approach, then yeah, I find it hard. You always feel like you pick the wrong ones and you miss the good ones. So by hitting them all, at least it's being consistent, and hopefully over time that'll pay you when they go right. As long as you're getting paid when it does go right, and it's something I've struggled with in the past. Finally, when there is a technical setup as well, you've got to maximise that opportunity. If you didn't have that technical landscape, maybe that oil didn't go as far at all. But having the technical picture and the poor highs to break through gave you that chance to push it for that extra move. But yeah, that's it from me. It's another comment-based one. But I just thought we could go through the footprint, and it had the technicals. And yeah, I'll be back in a week or so with another stream. So usual information if you want to get in touch, and see you soon.